Hi guys, this is Vimala from Infinity Meta. I just wanna share my thoughts right now. It's just for my personal video blog again regarding this like recent issues, which is racism, and I'm trying to like understand others people point of view what racism is, because I personally going through racism since I was born, since the day I was born, because I was born in Indonesia as the fourth generation. I have like a Chinese race, Chinese blood, and my grandparents they were born in Indonesia, so were my parents too. And here's the thing, like I understand like Asian country, they're really like what do you call it, like they really matter about like where they're from, where they, like where their ancestor from, because Indonesia, like a citizenship, they based on the parents. It's not like just because they're born there and then they already citizenship. And I had this problem since I was young, especially like my brother. We were athlete at that time, like wushu athlete, and me and my brother like had to go to like a you know tournament. And then he had a problem at that time because our own contingent, like our own we like a province or state, like they questioning our birth certificate. Means like we have birth certificate because when we were born, our parents already citizen, they already changed their name, like into Sanskrit name, and then we were born as with a Sanskrit name as well. And but they're still asking about like the release citizenship of the Republic of China. And it's just, it's just a kind of really just an excuse just to exclude us, who are just like a Chinese race into Indonesian team, like because I don't know, maybe they try to make Indonesian team just only native Indonesian people. I'm not really sure, but at that time I didn't really care because I did not really have a problem at that time, because I was the only for the girl at that time, for our sports was not really like that many people, so they did not give me any hard time, but they gave hard time to my brother. And he had to like have like a kind of statement from the lawyer, from our authority, about release citizenship of Republic of China. That is really weird because we born with a Indonesian passport and then everything. Then second of all, like basically we cannot really be athlete, like like the first level of athlete. We always be like the second level, or just like that the side person, if the native people cannot be in the first level, and then we move to the first level, and that's in the athlete world. And then second, like we could not work in the government agency at that time. There's no way for people like, as I know, there's no way for people like me, like a light skin, which is like a Chinese, to work in a government agency, because first of all you have to be native Indonesian with like a darker skin. Some people with darker skin, they have good luck to be able to work there, but like for us, like forget it. So we just found our own way by like going to school and then just having our own business. But it's almost impossible to be like a cop or police, or any army or any government position in there. And then by the time I don't know about right now, but I think right now now we can get a position, like even they mix the race. But I'm already too late, I'm already too old, because as I check, the maximum age, which is like 36 years old, and I'm like 39 now, so it's just too late. So, and then it's just the stereotype of religion about the racism too, like the religion. So like as I remember at that time, I was like 17 to like 28. um we have a stereotype like if we have light skin, which is like a Chinese race, we must be a Christian in religion, because there's no way that you are atheist there, because we're not allowed to be atheists at that time, until right now, until. But like what I'm saying is like I'm a Buddhist, and it's just this stereotype us as a Christian or Catholic just because our skin. And it's just um it just doesn't really like create any harmony whatsoever, because when we had that chaos, when they rape and kill like the Chinese race, just because in the name of like religion war, like it's kind of like religious war actually. But they always like makes an excuse about it. And also about the school too, like if we go to public school, we got bullied for sure because we're Chinese. And then like every time that I walk to school, we always got thrown. I mean, they thrown stone to us. They throw like anything. They spit on us, and then they try to grab us. They try to like touch our genital and everything. But it's like just because we're Chinese, and that's racism. That's real racism. Like I don't know what people like talk about racism here, but for me maybe it's just like very small layer. It's just like maybe the first phase of racism. But I went through all of those like racism, like in every different level, like from advanced level I think. And then for finding a spouse, right, a husband or wife, it's really like frustrating, because you have to find the same race. And in my case I have to find like a Chinese. But the good thing, thank God, my family was really like we have really open-minded, so we didn't really care. But what I'm saying is like it's not that we don't care, but we care more about the quality, instead of just the race. um and also like it's kind of like subconsciously we're thinking like we have to be in the same race as well, because when I was my whole like childhood until I was like a teenager and like a college and then everything, we'll kind of like uh, have like a subconscious boundaries to people outside our race. And then and then I came here to United States. It's kind of different, slightly different, but it's the same. But the way they treat us is just different, because the way they treat us, instead of just like a different race, they treat us like immigrant forever. No matter that you're like already like naturalized as a citizen, they still consider you as an immigrant. Even you born here, as long as you're like a Asian, they call you just like Asian immigrant. So they never really call you like American. I'm not really sure why, but in my opinion, I feel that I never have a hometown, because I never even have like a hometown or homeland. Because when I was born, and then all my ancestors kind of born there in Indonesia, but we never can call Indonesia is like our homeland, because they always call us Chinese when we're in Indonesia. Chinese is your homeland. And then they always told us like, go back home to China, go, you die Chinese, you motherfucker Chinese, go back to China. They always say that, even like we are like fourth generation born there. And then we can't even speak any of those Chinese languages, like not even the dialects, like zero. We only know like Indonesian and Javanese language, but they still say that to us, like, go back to your country where you belong, your hometown, which is China. And like I don't even have like a Chinese, I don't even have like a relative in China. So really hard dealing with the fact that you always been unwelcome in every land that you're like living on. um because when I was like young, I did not really like feel like this is my homeland, and like because I don't have any other place to go, you know, like we don't even have relative in China, or all my father's relative were in Belgium, which is all in Europe, and from my mom's side they're all in Indonesia too. And and then what I'm saying is like, so when they call us in Indonesia, they call us like Chinese. And then someone asks, "Are you Indonesian?" We answer like, "No, I'm not Indonesian. I'm Chinese." But when I came here to United States, they always ask, "Are you Chinese?" And then I was like, "No, I'm not Chinese. I'm Indonesian." So it's like the other way around. It's just because the way we label ourselves there, we label ourselves based on race. But when we label here, we label us as our nationality, I guess, right? And but yeah, that's the thing. I never even feel like, I mean, I still feel I'm Indonesian. I'm proud of being Indonesian. You know, like it means like nationality. I'm Indonesian. But like race, I still call myself like I'm Chinese. Like race. It's just a race, like my blood. Like what is your race? Chinese, right? But this nationality is like, yeah, it's Indonesia. But also the same thing. When I'm here, I can't really say that I'm Indonesian too, because I already left Indonesia, and then I'm like, I'm living here. I got like um you know, like all my, basically my my residence and then everything here, you know, citizenship and everything. But I can't even say like this is my homeland as well, because especially in this period of time, every time I walk, like during that this thing, racism thing, they still talk to me like, go back to your country, go back home, go back where you belong, you know, you just coming here just to look for money and then send money to your country. And I really have no idea, because I really never send money, because I have no, first of all, I have no money, because when you live in the United States, you just like basically pay bill by your paycheck, you know. It's just you never even save money. This is what you call American dream, just so you know. um what I'm saying is like, when I was walking down the street in Chinatown, like there are like some people like, it's just like a mixed race, you know. Like I understand that, like how black people really hate Chinese. I understand, because they keep saying it's like I have numerous people, black people, like yelling at me like, you die, you know, you Chinese, you go back to your country, you're like taking over our job. And then I was like, I was that what you really like angry about, you know. But I mean, I understand this racism is really bad in here, you know, like the way they really like treat people as like different level is really bad. And like I'm just trying to express that my position is like way worse than those people. But the thing is like, I'm not really like screaming it out. I believe like all my people also have the same issues, and then they never talk it out. We always like try to put like our invisible shield, our bubble, like, yeah, I know I am this, and I don't care, I just wanna save, and I just wanna like work and then saving some money so I can get a family. It's just, you know, subconsciously like thinking that way. But what I'm saying is like, when we take our time to think about our positions here or anywhere in this earth, I really have no home. I don't even know if people like really ask me to go back home. Go back home where? I always say like, yeah, I come from Indonesia, and my parents' house is in Indonesia, and I really have no house anymore. This is not the only house that I have, like rental place, and I call this is my home, right? And like I live in New York, I call like, I mean, New York is my home. So when they ask me like to go back to your home or your country, I was like, I came from the place or from the country that did not even want to accept me just because my race. Because at that time, I'm not talking about right now, but at that time, like about 30 years ago, like, or 35 years ago, I believe, since 5 years ago everything, like, going better. That's what I heard. And yeah, so it's just hard to face and deal with the racism. And I know exactly what racism is. It's like being stereotyped that, you're like, you're just because you're race, you're stereotyped to what kind of job, to what kind of religion, what kind of practice, what kind of personality, and what kind of like a favorite food. It's just, oh yeah, because you're Chinese so you like this, because you're black you love watermelon and fried chicken. It's just like that. It used to be funny, it used to be like a funny joke, but right now when we keep thinking about it, it's just people got really irritated, and I understand why. And my message in here is like, try to be in other people's shoes, because like, I know when people like debating or like arguing about Black Lives Matter, oh no, all life matters. I understand exactly what he's saying, that all life means like people like, like me, not only black but another people. They said color people. Well, yeah, I am like also a little bit colorless. I don't know what color that I have. I'm like yellow, white. I have no idea. So like my message is just like, I agree when people like object about like, oh, not Black life matter, not only black, it's like all life matters, because all means like all human and animals also. It's just like in my hometown at that time, if you're like dog, you're dead because it's haram. It's just like, it's so unfair. I don't know, it's like when we keep thinking about it, like we keep being awakened, it's like we're gonna non-stop thinking about like very little things. And the only thing that I'm like, the only thing that makes me like strive and survive, I think, is just like accepting it and absorbing it, and just return it back to the earth. What I'm saying is like, the earth is our mother earth, right? It's a home. So I always think that wherever, whenever, whatever that I step on, they're like my motherland. So like right now that I live in New York, in the United States, I know maybe people like mine if I say this is like my home now. I still gonna think that this is my home, because this is my home. I work on this, and then I share everything, and I'm like, I'm just living in this land, which is a mother earth, and I call it like my homeland. So I don't care where I'm from, I don't care what race that I'm from, but I'm like, for sure, I'm so proud of it. And like, I think every race is beautiful as is. It's just, I think people need to take some more time to explore, so they can like appreciate more and respect more, so they can love more and understand more. Take care, carry on. Because I do think that everything is planned, or like, set by the government. As the only one that really raises is the government, the system, not the people. The people is just a tool, but the real one is like whoever behind it, like either is a Illuminati or whatever. I think is the one that try to control us is the one who's like applying those racism issues. Because why would I, every time I apply job in here, I have to answer like is obligation, like obligatory questions saying like are you Hispanic or Latino or no, right? And then yes or no, and then I said no, and then after I said no, they asked like what is your race, and there's like Pacific, Asian, or white, or Caucasian. So they basically like asking about the race. So why, if, and then after that it has like this company is like equal, opportunity employer, or something like that. It's just like basically they don't discriminate. If they don't discriminate, why they keep asking every single time applying for a job, instead of asking, have you ever been arrested, did you ever go to jail, or anything. But they just like, what is your race, and then Hispanic or no, and then after no, and then what is your race. But I think if like you answer like Hispanic or Latino, yes, and you don't need to answer. So I think they just, color people, right? I have no idea why, but from my friend who ever worked for a recruiting company, like a job agency, they say it matters, like those two things, race and what is it called, disability. Because they just don't worry about it, don't look for a job for them, and that's really fucked up. Okay, anyway, I have to go back to work. Okay, bye, carry on, thank you.